Welcome back to my channel, Focus on Marriage and Family. My name is Jambi, and I think you guys already know that. So karibuni sana to my channel, Focus on Marriage and Family, and this is the channel where I bring you different issues surrounding young marriages and the family unit as a whole. Actually, it's been, I think, 2 months before I brought you, something good. I've not been able to shoot, but karibuni sana. So today, I have a very interesting topic, and this is a topic I've been hoping to address. This is a topic I have been hoping to tackle, and well, here it is. So I've been meaning to discuss infidelity because this is on the rise. I've been wondering, why is it that our men and our women in marriages have chosen to go outside their marital homes to have other affairs? What is the problem? What are these concerns that we have when it comes to marriage? And what is the cure ultimately? Like, how can we move on from this? How can we rescue the marriage institution, because clearly it's on its knees? So yes, and I brought guests. Of course, I never come alone. So karibuni sana. I have 2 guests on the channel today, and to my left, extreme left, I have Maggie. She will introduce herself.
Hi everyone, good to be back. I've been here once some time back. So my name is Maggie Wamuyu, and I'm married. This is my 14th year. Can't believe it, but
Wow.
yes, and I'm glad to be here. It's a hard topic that Sly is introducing, but we shall tackle it with God's help and with what we know, yeah.
Hello, guys. My name is Philip Mwaura. I am a pastor. I serve at a church called Mamlaka Hill Chapel, Ruaka. And it's a joy to be here. I've been married for 8 years now, and God has blessed us with 2 young, small children or daughters. Jerry, who is 5 years. All right, I forgot her age actually. She's turning 6. She's turning 6. She's turning 6, and Wema, who is turning 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like saying that I am not happily married so that I can be able to get that attention, but I'm joyfully married. The difference is, one, that a happiness is very, very circumstantial. I might be happy in the morning, but I'm delayed in traffic. But joy is an attitude. So I'm joyfully married for all those years. And it's a joy to be here today. And thank you for the work that you are doing.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Mwaura. So I also serve with Pastor Mwaura in Mamlaka in the marriage ministry,
Yeah.
and so we also help. We work with couples who are looking to get married. So today, yes, we are hoping to tackle infidelity. As Maggie said, it is a hard topic, and it's also, I feel as though it's also not spoken about.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's a sad thing, but we don't want to speak about it. We don't want to put it out there in the open to say, this is the reason why we are cheating. This is the reason why we are not being faithful in our marriages. Let me begin with you, Pastor Mwaura.
Yes, please.
Why do you think men, and I want you, because you're a man, I don't want you to talk about the women. Yes.
Okay.
Why do you think men
All right.
cheat? Why do you think they become unfaithful in marriage?
All right.
Yeah.
I think it's something that I've been thinking about why this happens. And there are many, many reasons. Maybe I can mention a few of them. First, there are those people or those men who get married, and on the day of their wedding, they are really planning to stay faithful, to be committed into their marriage,
Right.
but something happens along the way. One of the things that really comes in is the not being able to understand the different seasons that you are in. When marriage is very organic, so you've been in one season, move from one season to another season. There is a season of pregnancy, that comes. There is a season of, maybe lacking a job or being in a place that you are very, very hard hit financially. You get, so all these emotions or all these outside factors come into the marriage, and so you find that if one is not very, very careful, then they can be able to fall in those traps. There's also the other thing of expectations. You get married and your expectations are very, very, very high. As they say that women marry men hoping that they are going to change, and men marry their wives, hoping that they're not going to change at all. You get, so the expectation is, just remain the same. What I've seen now, I hope that it will be sustained for 10, 20 years. But we know that that's not the reality. So these expectations come, and so when something changes, then you find you are more prompted to go outside of your marriage. The other thing is, I think what we call kuzoyana. I don't know how we call it in Kizungu. You get kuzoyana, and yeah, and what happens is that familiarity breeds contempt, isn't it? Yes. And so you are there because you know all the ways, you know about your wife, you know her ways and many other things. So if an opportunity comes, then you start finding yourself losing the way. The other thing is our jobs. Our jobs. People are working nowadays far from each other. The people I have found, even in my circles, really going against their marital commitment of total fidelity are the ones. Maybe someone had been sent somewhere for a job opportunity or something like that. Then then they are alone. There's no one who can be able to keep them accountable. Then you find that they find themselves straying from their marriage. You get the opportunity come, and maybe where your company has sent you to work, it's you cannot be able to access many things, and so there are people that you work with and all those things. So I feel that those are a few things that come into the play when I try to imagine, why do men run away from their homes?
So from a statistic that was conducted by a research company here in Nairobi, it was found out that in 77.3%, from a certain group, knew a woman who is having an affair. Said they knew a woman who is having an affair. That's 77.3%. And 50%, from that group, were having extramarital affairs. 50%, which is so high, which is very, very high. And what I would like to say is that in the past, we had men are the ones who used to cheat.
Yes.
Like even when we were growing up, the stories we would hear would be for men, and actually it wasn't even a big deal. Like it wasn't really, But nowadays, the women are cheating. And actually they are, the way it's like they want to overtake. Yeah. It's like it's a competition. Yeah. So they could actually overtake the men anytime. Okay. And I wonder, and I would want to probably hear, and that is the reason why at least there are two women here to represent the women. Yeah. Why would you think, Maggie, a woman would choose to cheat? Yeah. What are some of these concerns that you feel women could be having? Yeah.
Well, I like the way you brought it up that long time ago, we only used to hear of men cheating. Even at home, women were homekeepers. They were home, and men probably are the ones who would be associated with cheating. And even right now, I look at, when I tell, for example, my mom that I'm going out like in the evening with my friends, she always asks, are you with your husband? And I'm like, no. Yeah, I'm with my friends. We're just going to have some coffee. And she's uncomfortable with that. And even when we go visit home with men and women, she'll always want to associate, this man is married to this woman. As in,
you have to be together.
You have to be together.
Yes.
And once in a while she would say, he's married, where is the wife? Yes. As in, the mentality is that men and women, if you're married, they should be together. So things have changed. Things have really changed. I don't want to say exposure. We have been exposed more ourselves as women. We have been empowered more. And those are not the real things that probably make us want to go outside our marriages. I think some of the things that come up is women are very emotional, and sometimes I feel if a woman is not getting the right attention from the husband, And because of the exposure that we already are in, we are going to work, you can be sent elsewhere to go work, or just the exposure that is now in the current situations, you find another man who is giving you more attention. You may make your hair, you buy a new dress, and your husband might not even notice that you changed the hair, for example, and you're not changing for him, yes, but women want to be told that they are beautiful, they look nice, you know, and where they are not looking very nice, they want to be told kindly, you know. Then you go to work, and at home no one told you those things. So you go to work, then there are these workmates or just customers or anyone you meet, they tell you, hey, you look very nice, that hair looks very nice on you. That will elate my day. That day I'll be walking high, you know. The following day, like that, continues like that. Then, unfortunately, if it's colleagues or people you interact with every day, and they keep telling you that, you somehow develop you somehow develop an affection, some relationship, you know, and you now even don't want to be told by your husband anyway, because there's always somebody who will tell you. So I think one of the things that make women tend to go off their marriages, off track, is not getting enough attention from their husbands. And let me tell you, a woman who is always given attention by their husbands, the real attention, you can tell. You can tell, actually. You can tell by the way. You can tell. And they would hardly drift off their marriages. You know, they would hardly drift off. And I also think husbands nowadays, they're very busy also sometimes. They are busy looking for money, which is good because we need the money, yes. But they also leave the home lonely. And the wife is left lonely. And now you have your phone, the kids are asleep, you don't feel like sleeping, the husband is busy. So somebody just texts you good night or something, today, tomorrow, the third day you're going to respond. And you'll now start saying good morning, you know. So, and stuff like that. So as much as you don't want, you now start having another relationship with someone, and not with the intention that it's going to go any deeper, but if it's not taken care of, that will go on and go on, you know. So attention and being so busy for the women, I think those are some of the things that I feel would make a woman go out of their marriage.
All right. Actually, there's something I want to read also, which was a comment. I also was trying to get, you know, like, I was conducting some research also and getting like some form of survey, asking questions of why, you know, women cheat, etc. And that came out. Actually, attention came out, and this is actually a comment from one of the people that I was trying to speak with. And this is the thing: attention, attention, attention. If you're not giving me attention, the attention I deserve, I will look for it and I will find it. And this person goes on to say, more women are going out on jobs. This means more interactions with men, more friendships and relationships. And happy married women and men find new company at places of work. Some cheat too for variety in life. I want Pastor Mwaura to respond. I need to hear what you have to say about this.
I think first, one is to be able to let someone who is in marriage, or one who is planning to get married, that there are some needs that we have that makes us as human beings that no one will ever be able to meet. We all come with needs, but there are some needs that our spouses will never be able to meet. So you have to face this thing realistically. You get that yes, I have these affections need. I need someone who will affirm me, who will buy me gifts, who will be proud of me and all that. But we know that all of us have many, many shortcomings. So may I encourage that husband who perhaps looks at the wife in a different way than they used to, and also or that wife who now looks at her husband in a different way, may I encourage them that first, no one will ever be able to meet those needs. But the second thing that is that God created this institution of marriage to meet some basic needs and even to be able to push us to something greater. One, I have to let you know that when we talk about when someone says that I'm not giving the attention that I deserve, especially because nowadays even men, even as men, we need. By the way, we also need attention. Oh gosh, we need attention always. You know, it's, you get. Haven't you heard that? No. Haven't you heard that men, you know, when maybe they have been blessed with a child, then you know, where is my wife? Because the attention has been taken by the kids. You know, we also feel it. So it's only perhaps the way it comes out or the way we respond. It can be a little bit different. You get, women, we respond to it differently. And that's why actually these things of infidelity really hurts, because a woman is trying to think, I left my people, I left my maybe career, I have stagnated in my career because of you. Yes. Then you do this. You get, right. So that's why it really hurts. It really hurts them. But talking about the different needs that our spouses may never be able to meet, I think the thing is to encourage our spouses, either our wives or our husbands, to be able to find a balance. You get? Because as men, I'm trying to think, I have bills here, I have school fees here to pay, I need my people to live comfortably. You get? So there are all these things that can push me to do so many other, so maybe commit myself more or commit more hours at the workplace, to the detriment of our relationship. The thing is encouraging us to be able to find a balance, because both are important. The marriage, my wife is important. You know, my job is also equally important, because if I'm fired, you know, we'll not have something to eat. You know, I'll lose even the wife. So I have to be careful. You get? I have to find a balance. The other thing is men have, and perhaps you have heard it or you have read it. One of the men have this hunting intuition. You get? They are hunters. You've been told that. You know, we pursue. You get? We pursue. In any case, when you are growing up, we used to be told that actually when a girl says no, she says yes. That means that you have to pursue her. You get? And show more interest. You'll get until she says yes. Right. I remember my first dating experience. Immediately after high school, guys told me, you know, she'll go in to say no and then try to do 1, 2, 3, you know, let it be a pushback and all that. And then when I went for this date, I asked this girl out and she said yes immediately, and I didn't know what to do. You get? So I've ever dated for 3 hours, you know, meeting a girl, getting into a relationship for only 3 hours, and then I was jilted and breaking up. You know, we left there because the girl wondered, what is it that you have asked me? You get? So because we are perhaps we are brought up with a mentality of hunting and all that. But now the thing is that we do not know what to do when the prey, in quotes, is in our hands now. What do we do? You know, we might be tempted now to look for more, you know, to look for that, to look for that thrill. But the thing that I always encourage husbands and wives, especially when we say that because I'm not having this need at home, then I need to go and look for it outside. The thing that I always encourage people is to ask themselves, what the cost? You get? Because unfaithfulness, infidelity, you invest more, the return on investment is not comparable. You know, you invest a lot and you get so little. You get pains, regrets, hatred, you know, marriages collapse, children, you know, are left alone, and many other things that happens. So we should always ask ourselves, what is the cost? You get? What is the cost? But the other thing is, as we are saying here, men and women need to cultivate friendships. You get? Friendships are very, very key to be able to prevent unfaithfulness. Perhaps we'll be able to talk about that later, because infidelity in marriage, you know, will happen there is non-sexual. You get? It starts as a non-sexual friendship, you know. Then it grows to a sexual experience. Both have the same impact, negative impact to the marriage. You get? The emotional attachment to someone who is not your friend, or who is not your wife or your spouse. You get? You know, they come and they tell you look nice. It's stuff like that. It's very, very subtle. Then it progresses. You know, I think I've found a nice shirt that can fit. You get? Presents. You go to the place of presents. You start buying each other presents that your spouse is not aware of. And that the one of the pointers that I always check is, are you buying the other person some presents that your spouse is not aware of? Then that's one way that you know that I'm en route to cheating or being unfaithful in my marriage. You get? So we really need to be careful in that, to that extent, and ask ourselves, what are the voices that I'm hearing around? Which is the clearest voice that I need to hear? You get? Because you'll hear all these things around. You know, men are like this, women are like this. You know, women are craving for attention, men are craving for respect. So if that is not met, then one is going to be unfaithful and all that. So you need to be careful. Which voice am I hearing? Is it my spouse's voice that I'm hearing, or I'm hearing other voices? Pursue that voice of your spouse. So men, I encourage men, you know, listen to your wife. You get? And you have to come to a place of hearing what they're not saying. You get? The non-verbal communication, you know, hearing what their spouse is not, your spouse is not saying. And on this other side, you know, also being able to hear what your husband is not saying, you know, by either lamenting or by making those comments, and then you attend to that, so that you can be able to develop that friendship, and that will prevent you from being very, you know, from falling into the traps of marital and infidelity or something like that.
Let me ask something,
Yes,
because
please.
I always find this to be a bit strange, because when men get married, like rather when we get married, man, woman, there's the aspect where ladies are ready. We are ready. We are usually ready for this thing, for this marriage thing. We are ready. We've planned in our minds, you know, this is how these things are going to unfold. Of course, you know, but we are ready. You know? But I find that for the men, they seem ready, but when they get into the marriage, most men will want to still be single.
Oh, okay.
So you're married, but you want
you're
to live
single.
a single life, where you're not being asked questions.
Yes.
Yani, you're not being bothered.
Okay.
Yani, you understand. And also, probably you still want to live your life, meet your friends, meet your boys, and you still want to be, but you want to be married.
Yes.
So you want the children.
And in many cases, you don't want your wife to continue.
Yes. No, your wife, no. Your wife should be home. Your wife is supposed to be at home.
Taking care of you.
She stopped those things.
Okay.
She got married.
Okay.
So yes, so there is that disconnect which I find in marriages, which I also feel is also ground for infidelity.
Yes.
And which leads to them, if the man decides to live this kind of lifestyle. Because what I say about infidelity is that, and I think we have ever been told this actually in church, is that, you know, don't trust yourself.
Yes.
Right? Don't trust yourself. Be at a place where you know that I could be placed in this environment where I could cheat, or I could go out of my marriage. But what you need to do is, are you placing yourself in environments that are making you, and these are the kind of environments that you will find out there. So if you're choosing, you know, if your husband is always out, of course hanging out with these girls, it is younger girls, it is, or even their age. So these are environments which could lead this man to cheating, which I always feel as though for women sometimes also they revenge. I don't know, but sometimes you'll find the woman wants to revenge.
Yes,
you know,
and through that they are hurt more. And maybe before Maggie says something, is that I've found that as men we have to understand that we show up late into the party. You get into the party of marriage.
Like
First,
3 years later.
yes. First is that you find that the girl gets married 1 year before the wedding day, you know, and the husband and the guy gets married 1 year after the wedding. You know, that's when it's hitting you.
I'm married.
Yes, gosh, I'm married. You know, and I think men we have to do something there. We help each other. That's why it's, you know, marriage is about helping each other. You get it. God says that I make a suitable helpmate for him. You know, so she is a suitable. You know, to be able to help you, perhaps be able to make haste or something like that. But also the other thing is also expectations. You find that a man gets the motivations for a man to get married is that maybe it's a conversation goes into their mind thinking that now because we are two of us, I can do half as much.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
Now I'm married, so I don't need to cook. I used to cook. So I don't need to cook. I don't need to do the laundry. Someone, you get, kazi imepungua, you get, and all that. And then the girl on this other side is thinking now because we are two of us, we can do twice as much. You get akikatakata kitunguu, I can be make, you get. So the time that I used to achieve something now will be, we can do within that time, we can do twice as much.
Right.
And so you find two people in a marriage really crashing because of expectations, but also because of gender. You get. And so I think there is a place of being able to understand, hey, this the reason why you're here, this is the purpose of this marriage, and so you hold each other's hands, but also being able to know that men, we are more susceptible to to dragging our feet into the marriage. And so when you are maybe being pushed, or you feel like I am doing half so that I can do other things, and then those things are not being met, maybe it's intimacy, then it's not being met, so let me go out and cheat. But the other thing then what you can say is this: the reason why many men are it's easy to cheat, and I always tell people it's easy to be unfaithful in marriage than in dating. I don't know if maybe you have seen those trends. One is because dating, you are my wife calls it dating is campaign. You're campaigning. You are putting your foot. Then but in marriage, like I've been married for 8 years, I know how to sweet talk a girl. My wife. So I know. I've mastered it. I know this one. If I say this, then it's going to work. If I don't say this, you get. So imagine I take that to a girl who has never been affirmed. You get. I take what I need to use at home, because men, we are not so genius in the thing that I say about my wife is the same thing that I'm going to tell the other guy there. No, you don't reinvent. You get. We're just going to use the same. You get. Actually, there is a girl who was forwarded an SMS. I mean a WhatsApp message. And then it goes forwarded. Forwarded. Up there is showing, because we take all that at what we are supposed to use with our wives, and then we take it to someone. You get, because it has worked. This has worked. And so when you find a girl who is sort of hungry of this affirmation of a manly figure, then she'll think that this is the best thing that ever happened. You get in my life. And so you find that that's why it's easy for men, and we really need to be careful. And I like it when you're saying that we should not trust ourselves, because it's very, very easy for us who are in marriage to cheat, to fall, to go against our marital commitments, because we have been tried and tested. And we also don't have much to lose. If I approach a girl out there and she says no, I don't have much to lose. You get. I have my wife at home. You get. As I try to orient myself and look to strategize again. But you see, maybe in dating, you are thinking, if this one is gone, there's I don't know where I'm going to start again. You get. So we need to be careful. We need to be careful and remain true to our marital commitment. It's not easy, but it's possible to be able to achieve that. Yeah.
Wow. Maggie, I'm sure you have something to say.
I have liked something you've said, Pastor Mwaura, about listening to the voice that is loudest. But I'm wondering something. How do we make sure, as both women and men who are married, with all this environment that is so conducive for going out of our marriage bed, how do we make sure that we are listening to the voice of our spouses, especially when the situations at home are not okay, and they're not conducive, and a man will give an excuse that I don't have peace at home, so I'm going to look for peace out there, and the woman will also say he's gone out there and he's not giving me attention, so I also have a reason to, why don't I also go and look for some attention, so how do we get that balance? Because marriages, you have to be very intentional, because there'll always be someone who is better than your husband or your wife as you move. In my 14 years of marriage, I think I've experienced that. There's always something better. There's always somebody who will do something better than my husband will do, So you really have to be intentional. And you have to tell yourself, by the way, I'm married to this man. I need to be faithful to this man. But at times, when things are not okay and you're wondering, you don't even have that strength to tell yourself, to remind yourself and convince yourself that I'm married to this man and I need to be faithful. And I guess men bring that stronger when they say they don't have peace at home, and so they're going to get someone else. They're going to give that attention they should have given their wives out there. And that spoils everything, because a wrong and a wrong will never be right, you see. So where do we get that balance, and how do we get intentional that we shall for sure listen to the voice that is louder, the spouse, you'll always remember my spouse, and not those other voices, which are so many.
They
They're the majority, actually.
Yeah, they're the majority, yes.
Yeah, how do we get that balance?